I forgot to mention this to you guys. I told you yesterday how I uploaded that video, that screen recording, to Twitter to try to get DraftKings attention, which we did, admitting that they were nuking the odds in a ridiculous fashion, so much to the point where you added a plus money point to a plus money play. It reduced the odds, and there was clearly an error. And then I mentioned that there were the quote-unquote paid shills over there who were fighting me on the concept, saying the odds should be reduced and it's normal. Well, you know how it is. I mean, you've seen how it is here. Like, if you make a bad pick, you make a bad 2 picks, there's going to be plenty of orcs, gargoyles, and everything in between just boiling in the comments. That's here on YouTube. YouTube has like all these be a nice guy policies. Over on Twitter, it's the next breed of orc. It's the Urukhai sprinting through the woods, and they smell your man flesh. Man flesh. Whatever you tweet, they don't care. They could absolutely agree. They're fighting you to the death that it isn't the case. And, you know, that was the case. They were saying that the odds should be reduced. So I went to this guy and said, okay, yeah, show me another sportsbook that reduces the odds on a point parlay. I'll send you $1,000 instantly. What do they do? They go scouring all the sportsbook, and they managed to find on Bet365, if you took Draisaitl for 2 points and added a minus 500 Connor McDavid single point, it brought the odds down a little. They take me, you sending me the 1,000 or are you a fraud? I said, no, give me your Venmo and I'm going to send you 1,000 Icelandic krona. This guy, he's going nuts. He's DMing me saying I'm a piece of garbage. He said he's going to find all you viewers to let you know how much of a fraud I am. And I mean, he's probably watching this video, sir. Yes. I literally have a segment called the Scam of the Week because that's how many scams I've pulled in my life. You think I would ever send a gargoyle who defends the sportsbook a shekel? Are you nuts? You know what? I think it's fair to say if it's, tied 2-2 and it's going to overtime and they're deciding if I'm going to heaven or hell, I'm pretty sure the sending $1,000 to an orc would have got me sent to hell. You get nothing. Please let everybody know. You have some of your relatives down in the comments. You can find some of them down there. Have a good time. Let them know I'm a fraud. And watch some of my old episodes of the You're Still Here podcast. I'll give you way better scams than that. You get nothing. And as far as some NHL plays, who knows? Maybe I'll find some more scams because we pulled a couple of scams last night, a couple line combo scams, a little plus 290 with the Benson play with the Dahlin assist. Kind of got lucky because Tage Thompson didn't get a point, so I happened to choose the right line combo there. And then I'm happy. When I edit these videos, it's a question of like, oh my God, do I got to pull all these screenshots, upload them, do it? But I'm happy I did that for the Philadelphia game. I just ran through a bunch of those screenshots, and as you saw, a plus 325 hit and a plus 675 hit. That wipes out about 3 videos right there. And once again, I know you guys know this, and you're really going to know it once nights like that start to happen more frequently, and you start hitting these high-price line combos. And once these lines get sorted out, and once we see the optimal combinations, and these teams really kind of get set in their top 6 and their top 2 power plays, we'll start to have more nights like that. Who knows? We might have a night like that tonight because I for sure see some incredible values in the very first game. Here's what I'll tell you about the Islanders. They have awful defense. I mean, brutal defense. Like, it doesn't mean they don't have a all-star defenseman who I'm going to talk about in a second, or even if you don't want to say all-star, but who's going to be an all-star defenseman in Matthew Schaefer. Their team defense is poo-poo. And that's been clearly illustrated through pretty much every game so far. They're conceding. Even when they win, kind of like they did in Ottawa, they're going to have to outscore their defensive issues, and they haven't been getting good goaltending. So there have been a lot of goals scored against them. Who's waltzing into UBS Arena? The San Jose Sharks, a team who has been so kind in terms of the ruckus. I mean, so many games they've scored a bunch of goals. Now, it was very disheartening when they played the Pittsburgh Penguins the other night. It was a 3-0 shutout, but they're going to Long Island, And we've seen them go on the road. We saw them go on the road last week to Utah, score 3-4 goals in a loss. And I think something like that can be on the docket once again. So I got all sorts of plays here. You want me to start you with a little Pizzeria play? I'll start you right at that Pizzeria, right at the front counter. What do you want? I'll take the over 2.5 goals for the San Jose Sharks because the New York Islanders, I mean, they are giving up so many high-quality chances. Their penalty kill is absolutely brutal. Once again, it was bottom of the barrel in the NHL last year, seemingly picked up right where it left off. And I think there are going to be some opportunities for this San Jose Sharks team to score against the Islanders. I'm hoping it looks like that game we saw between Ottawa and the Islanders over the weekend. We get a 5-4. It's going to be a lot of enjoyment because last night, was there one over? Another bunch of slow games. Now, I'm happy we got the under 6.5 with the under half of a point for Andrei Svechnikov. I got another one like that on the slate tonight, but I want to see more goals. You know what? I think I'm going to start tracking. I think the sports books have this, right? Where they have nightly goals, the over-under. I'm going to start betting the under. I'm just going to put a couple $100 on the under. Because I know if I lose that bet, my line combos went off. Should we try that? I'll let you know how it goes. And what do I like on the Sharks? I really think values do not come much better than this. Will Smith on the top line of San Jose with Marchand Celebrini. They played together on the top line earlier this season. They had like a 4-point game. I mean, it was 3 points. They had a ton of... I don't know why they ever broke them up. Was it that disciplinary weird thing with Will Smith? So he got like demoted for... I don't know what the hell it was. I don't know if it was a hoax. I don't know if it was a joke. But he got demoted unnecessarily because he clearly has great chemistry with Marchand Celebrini. So they got him up there. They're going to put Toffoli on the top line. All three of them are going to be on the top power play. There's no chance, Vince McMahon style in hell, that this point prop for Will Smith playing with Celebrini and Toffoli should be plus 120. It should not be that whatsoever. Even if you get it plus 115, plus 110. If it starts with a plus, it's an incredible value against the New York Islanders, who are terrible defensively. So I will go with that point prop for Will Smith. And then obviously, what can we do? Do you want to do the whole line? I don't know. What do you think is better? Point for Will Smith, point for Marchand Celebrini, that's plus 200. Or we could add Toffoli, get it up to like plus 275. I personally think the plus 200. If it starts with a 2, I feel like, two really good forwards. I don't want to chance it with Toffoli's fat ass plopped in front of the net and maybe he just doesn't get his stick on anything. So, I do this every once in a while. Like the reason I took Caulfield and Suzuki and put down that fastball is because I always hated trusting Slavkovsky. Then what happens? Slavkovsky gets a point last night and no points for Cole Caulfield. However, in this case, I do like Will Smith, Marchand Celebrini coming in at a plus 200. And dare I say, let me roll back something from 2 seasons ago. Something that we all got excited for. This was 2 seasons ago was the introduction of the Parlay Pirates, where everyone just said, give me one of those huge 2-point parlays. You want one?
So tell me.
I think San Jose, that top line is a good shot. Let's try a little spritz. Okay, don't go crazy. Oh, now you're going to cancel out all the other bets and put it all on this because you can't stop yourself. Okay, 2 points for Marchand Celebrini, 2 points for Will Smith. These are the 2-point line mate prop parlays. And I got good news for you. This wasn't the case 2 years ago. Couldn't even do this on Fanduel 2 years ago. It was a Bet365 only for the most part. You know what DraftKings does with the odds? My suggestion, try Fanduel, try Fanatics. Try those two if you don't have access to Bet365. How's that for some advice? These are the types of things I give. So even if I'm not having huge line combo weeks, this is the type of stuff that I try to let everybody know on the Patreon. I know every sports book, every combo, which offers the best odds. And I guess hopefully I know some sniffs that are going to happen in this game because that's not it. We got all those good Shark sniffs. There's no way that a player who's registered a point in every single game, Nikolai Ehlers, last night, finally got his first point. Of course, a secondary assist. But in all honesty, he's been playing fine. He looks like classic Nikolai Ehlers. It's really just a curious case of how he didn't factor in on those previous goals. His point prop never dropped all the way to plus. It was minus 115 or something last night, which is pretty hilarious considering Aho and Jarvis are like minus 200. But if I told you somebody had a point every single game of the season, you'd think, oh, this is just one of the best players. You know, it's one of these Dylan Larkin type characters. This is what Matthew Schaefer has done for the New York Islanders. This kid's playing 26 minutes a night, obviously has tons of offensive flair. He's now stapled on the top power play and is going up against the worst team in the NHL. The Islanders' goal total is like minus 120 for over 3.5. So if the sportsbook thinks that they're going to score 4 goals, Matthew Schaefer's got to be in on one of them playing 26, 27 minutes a night or whatever it was. I mean, he's averaging mid-20s to high 20s, especially recently. So Matthew Schaefer, plus 120 for a point. There was some hidden ruckus to be had in that Seattle-Philadelphia game. This wouldn't be some hidden ruckus. This is front and center, open the door, get some candy on Halloween ruckus. So hopefully we knock on that door, they open it, and they don't give us some awful thing like candy corn. No, let's get the Reese's, let's get the Snickers, let's get a Mr. Good Bar even. I'll not too many, but I'll take one good bar off to the side. So there's an assortment of plays in that game right there. Believe it or not, I'm going to stick around the Pizzeria for a little bit because we got Brad Marchand's return to Boston. Now, the issue with the Florida Panthers, you're probably seeing them lose a couple of games. Oh, they lost 3-1. Oh, my God, did they get shut out? But who shut them out? Did the Sabres shut them out? I told you, man, this team has been to 3 straight Stanley Cups. They don't give a rat's ass about any of these October games. Okay, they're less worried about their October games than I am about the line combos having a rough, whatever it was, 2 weeks and whatever. Because I know it's early in the season the same way they know it's early in the season, and they know how little these games mean. However, when you know Florida has a reason to actually play, I think we're getting a version of the real Panthers in this Marchand game. I think they know this means something to him. They lowballed Marchand, which forced him out of town. Things worked out well for him. And you got to think this is going to be, I mean, you want to be a chalky individual? Then I think this is the way to go about it. I'm going to take the Florida Panthers. I mean, their money line really is not that. I don't know if it's because they've lost a couple and Boston won a couple games. Or Boston's losing left and right now. So the money line isn't that bad. You can do an old school, Boston Bruins to win with a Brad Marchand point. But I think the over 3.5 for the Florida Panthers, I think that's a good bet. I know they haven't scored a bunch. You know what's crazy? Without Tkachuk, without Barkov, they still have plenty of scores. Reinhart, Verhaeghe, Bennett, the second line with Lundell, Luster-Ryan, and Marchand. That's plenty. I can name you plenty of teams who don't have those types of players. Samoskevich, Rodriguez on the third line with Boquist. That's plenty to score in this league. And you're getting Boston coming back from the West Coast. Usually when you come back from that West Coast trip, that first game, you're a little slow. Maybe you get smacked. And I think you have a motivated Florida team for multiple reasons. They have lost a couple games in a row. I mean, you can lose and not care, but you still have to win enough to just keep you floating around, number 3 in the division or in one of the wild card spots. So they kind of need a win. And if they're going to get it, I feel like they might throw a beating in this game against the Boston Bruins. So let's go with the over 3.5 goals for the Florida Panthers. And if you want some Brad Marchand induced bets in there, let's go with Brad Marchand over 2.5 shots on goal. You got to think he's going to fire a couple, right? They're going to try to get him a goal. Let's say he's stuck on 2. You're all frustrated. They're leaving him out there for all empty net situations, overtime situations. So I think the over, you will never see me take a shots on goal, ever. Because I know how the shot registration people, how they take them away left and right. So don't ask me for these much more than this, but I don't mind on this particular set. Let's, have a little fun with it every once in a while. The rat over 2.5 shots on goal for Brad Marchand. Also, he's an easy guy to stack in this game because although there are all sorts of fun Marchand narratives, there's still some snakeonomics to be had. Florida, they've been struggling to score, so you're naturally going to see some shifts. Now, we're not seeing any shifts with the forwards in terms of the lines, but we are seeing a shift on the top power play. They're removing Ekblad. They have Samoskevich up there. They're putting Lundell up there, which means we're going to have Lundell and Brad Marchand. So let's do, this is a classic for me, Lundell for an assist because you know he's going to be looking for Marchand. Marchand for a point. Let's do that play over there in Boston. And then I'll save the most boring for last. We ended with one of those, yeah, I think that's going to happen in the game. It's going to be a low-scoring game. Oh, you want to take it for plus money? Then take the under half of a point on this guy. Maybe just each day I could try to teach you different things on a sportsbook. Like, look, bet you didn't know you can do this over there. Well, yesterday I showed you on ESPN Bet you can take the under 6.5 with the under half of a point for somebody. But what if you don't have ESPN Bet? Well, what if you have Fanduel, for example? So I think that the Pittsburgh Penguins Vancouver game, that game and the Anaheim game, they smell like you're not going to potentially see a lot of goals in them. They smell like under 6.5s to me. I don't bet under 5.5s because I just hate the fact that it could be 3-2 in the third and then an empty netter just ends you. I kind of need that one extra goal leeway in case it's 3-2, they hit the empty netter and we're still winners. But I don't have to do that in this particular case because the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Vancouver Canucks, they have it set at 6.5 on FanDuel. I'm going to go with the under 6.5. And if that's not good enough for you, it's plus money or I'm not listening, then on FanDuel, this is a weird thing. You know, sometimes you don't even know you could include this in a same game parlay. You can only do this on a few sports books. They don't let you do under on a point, but they do let you do under on a goal. So I'm going to go with the under 6.5 and the under half of a goal for Evander Kane. That will bring that under 6.5 to plus money. So that is what I have for you here on a Tuesday. I'm conflicted about that Colorado Avalanche. You know what? You guys help me because I was like, you know what? They're going to go back. Avalanche aren't running that full court press at anyone just yet, which is why I think they have a better chance to win the Stanley Cup this year. I don't know. With Landeskog reintroduced, there's a little more grit to the team, and you're seeing more of these 3-1s, low-scoring games. So while I truly, if things don't go our way early, let's just smack something. Let's start going wild on that. Wait, what should you bet? You know what? I've never done this. Put your best Colorado bets in the comments. And now you could be your best version of Andy. Include the sports book it has to be done on. Because with me, I have to go, like a jackal through all these. Oh, you can't do it there. And I just have to go through all the pages. So give me your best Colorado, Utah, Phoenix, Arizona Coyotes bets in the comments. I'm not kidding. I really want to see them. But if I click read comments, you know who's going to be there. All right, guys, do me a favor. I think I asked for that like. Look, you guys must have done a great job yesterday. Look at all the goals they gave. So, how about, all right, for the Islander game, like this video gets us 1 goal. Comment on this video gets us 2 goals. Subscribe to this channel gets us 3 goals. If you're already subscribed, it actually still counts. Maybe just look at the button and say, you know what, I would click it again. Number 4, click the notification so you know when the most recent video comes out. Now we're at 4 goals. Click that hype, we're at 5. Oh, even I'm not as much of a scumbag to say join the Patreon and then we'll get to 6. I'm not that much of a fraud. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow for some Wednesday night sliffs. Did I just call them sliffs? Slits? Sniffs? Hopefully this Tuesday, I smell the tide starting to pull in the right direction. Hopefully it is a good smell. I will see you guys tomorrow for the next round of NHL Sniffs. Take it easy.